Before the events here in Washington unfolded, touching moments at Ellington Field just outside of Houston today, and our Josh Marshall was there.
It was an incredible showing of respect. Everything from the plane, the motorcade to the military honors moved with precision. And the military does it that way to honor not only the person who died, but for their families. And today, the family and friends of George H.W. Bush were on the tarmac. If it weren't for the wind, it would have been silent when the motorcade rolled to a stop in front of soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines, all saluting our 41st president. Cannons fired from across the tarmac to the tone of "Hail to the Chief," blowing smoke into the windy Monday morning, with family and friends watching the 30-minute ceremony, few of them with dry eyes. An Army officer rendered a final salute before a specifically made truck hoisted the American flag-wrapped casket bearing Houston's president into the plane. George and former First Lady Laura Bush led family and friends on board. They flew to Washington with their patriarch. On Wednesday, the president's remains will return to Ellington Field for a private funeral service held in Houston before he is moved to his final resting place in College Station. At Ellington Field, Josh Marshall, KHOU 11 News.